at the schedule, you'll see that we're trying to leave here at 11:15 on Sunday morning. We've moved that consecration up early. We want you to get home, get to your families, and we don't want you to leave Saturday night. So that's the objective there. If you have to get home, you have to get home. We understand that, especially for young families. As I said, the events are planned to facilitate that supernatural experience, that meeting with Christ. The pace can be fast, as I said. Friendship. We're here together for roughly 40 hours, the same 40 hours that Jesus spent in the tomb. There's a reason we're not making a private retreat. We need God and we need each other. Some men come here to listen. Others, because of great burdens they carry, need to be listened to. While many others come for peace and silence, they want separation and silence. They want the offer of fellowship and good example, but time to talk to God. So silence is, of course, absolutely critical here at Malvern. First rule. We have now the new shrine to Carlo Acutis down below us here, just a beautiful shrine. You need to spend some time there. Off to, as you're facing the altar down there, to the right is a new room where they're going to have perpetual adoration 24/7 all through the year. This year, they haven't started it yet. You're allowed to meet down there and talk down there, but no food and drink. Remember, they used to have the coffee over there to the left. So that has changed. It's become a very sacred place. It's going to be a national shrine, actually, to Carlo Acutis, who will be canonized in April. And I bet some of you guys are already planning to be there. Father's going to be, no, not there, but the guy who follows, Giorgio. So silence, please don't forget that. Tonight, at the end of this, a lot of you have adrenaline still pumping. We all walk down the hill up here at the end of St. Joe's driveway. There's a hill that dives down all the way to Our Lady of Lourdes, it's Our Lady of Lourdes, is it, or Our Lady of Fatima? Huh? Refresh me. Lourdes over here and Fatima over here? All right, but anyway, it's Shrine to Our Lady. I can't remember which right now. And it's number 25 on the map. No, that's the Overlook. So after that, there's still a lot of young guys who want to talk, and they go up to the Overlook. That's number 25 on the map. And you get to the Overlook, and you look down to this shrine. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful setting in the middle of the woods there. So you're all invited to join that 10 o'clock rosary down there, and afterwards at the Overlook. But please be silent when you're walking through the hallways, especially if you're coming back from the Overlook at 1 or 2 in the morning, sometimes later. Introduce yourself to first-timers. They're the guys with the red dots. Invite them to your tables. Accept strangers at your meal table. Remember, there's going to be guys looking around for a seat, and you've got 1 or 2 seats left because that dining hall is going to be packed. So please be patient, accept that, and make new friends. Find out why those guys are here and what they do. There's prayer intention sheets. If you haven't filled them out, just give them to me. We'll get them into the basket up here. Cell phones, please turn them off and keep them off as much as possible. If you have to call your wife or get far away from the building so the guy who's trying to sleep below doesn't hear your conversation. Malvern Manual's new this year, all the prayers in the map. Hey, Peter, I want to ask you a question. I was looking at the morning prayers. It's like 10 pages long. Is that true? Is it totally revamped in morning prayers? Huh? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, is that what we're doing, though? We're doing this 10 pages. Okay. So they used to, in the other prayer books, they used to have like 2 different morning prayers, one for Saturday, one for Sunday. They were 4 or 5 pages long. This is 10 pages long. So read it. Tom, where's Tom Oswald? Tom, where are you? So read that. It starts on page 18 or 19, somewhere in there. Read through it and make sure it happens at Our Lady's Chapel. I'll make sure it happens at St. Joe's Chapel. And Mike Sabenko has volunteered to make it happen down at the Family Life Center. So that is new this year, and I was surprised to see it. I said, when's this going to end? Guys are going to be late for breakfast, and they don't want to be late for breakfast. I know this group. But anyway, that's going to be fun. Remember, Angelus in the hallway. Don't let this go by. If you don't see somebody down at the end of the hallway at 7:20, go down there, open up the book to 16, and lead the men in prayer in the Angelus. And At 7 o'clock, somebody should be knocking on the doors. Hey, Steve, I'm glad you joined us. Another Murnane. Came a long way through a snowstorm, right, Steve? Okay. So somebody's supposed to knock on the door at 7 o'clock and wake everybody up. There's a prayer in the book. Let us bless the Lord. And then the person inside says, and give thanks to God. And then 7:20, everybody in the hallway. 7:30, everybody in the chapel. And then beeline to breakfast. Confession is the most important part of this retreat. We have 14 priests tomorrow, including Father. And Father is going to be hearing confession over here in the sacristy right here off of the room. We'll have two priests here. We'll have 7 down in Our Ladies and 4 up in St. Joe's, 14 priests. The idea, of course, is to keep the line short. So it's extremely important to make a confession while you're here, unburden your heart, and become close to God. What's that? Confession? 10 to 12 tomorrow. 10 to 12 tomorrow morning after Father's second conference. Stations of the Cross, I need guys to help me with that. Tom, if you and John O'Rourke could do Our Lady's Chapel, right? 2 groups. And then I'll get 2 guys for the other. So there'll be 4 groups going out into the woods, Stations of the Cross. It's a very emotional, important experience. So I highly recommend it. Again, it's optional. Rosary procession at the Overlook tonight. Outdoor shrines here are absolutely beautiful. They're lit up. There's various prayers you can say when you go to a shrine if you want to do that. Make a kind of a pilgrimage to the shrines. And again, personal consecration at the end of the retreat, actually before Mass. We're going to do it before Mass this year. Consecration to Our Lady and what have you. On your blue sheet at the bottom, on the back, in case of emergency, you don't say Malvern Retreat House. You give the address 315 South Warren Avenue if you need a 911 call. Okay, you have to do it yourself. You don't call us. There's a bookstore on campus. This is very interesting, and they used to have it over here anyway. They've expanded it. And the Knights of Immaculata put together a list of 42 books. Catholic books, spiritual books on things like church history, scripture, spiritual life, apologetics, et cetera, et cetera. The bookstore down here was able to easily get 13 of those titles. They've built a new room. A lot of the books in the room are the books that we recommended. The list of that books I sent in an email, but we're going to have about 50 copies of it out here on the table if you want to pick it up and read it again. Is this the book I want to buy? They will be down, the bookstore will be open in the morning and all day Saturday, and I don't know if it's open Sunday or not, but we can find out. So spiritual reading is a key part of the spiritual life, and Father's going to talk about the books that are out here on the table that he brought and highly recommends. So that's that. Coffee in the morning. There's 3 spots. There will be a spot in, is that on the first floor of the coffee, Peter? On the first floor of Corrigan Hall? Okay, so you're walking in that door. There's a basement, of course. Down the end, you make a right. Go down the end of that hall, make a right for coffee if you're that kind of a guy in the morning. There's one in St. Joe's you guys are mostly familiar with, down across from the sacristy of the chapel. And then there was a new one here. They closed the one right in Lower McShane, that coffee in the morning spot. It's now going to be, as you go through Assumption and you walk into the lobby there where Immaculate Conception Shrine is, on the right, there's going to be a coffee niche. Right now, it's not insulated for sound, so try to keep your voices down when you go in there, and they're going to take care of that. No food and drink in Lower McShane. And now it's time to introduce Father. And I'm going to ask Dan Venetius. Question? Yeah.